Eneji Justina Imere is a dedicated and passionate individual with a strong academic background in medical biochemistry. She holds a degree in medical biochemistry from the University of Cross River State, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Okuku Campus, Yola local government area of the state. Her professional career began as a laboratory assistant at First Point Medical Diagnostics, Nyanya, Abuja, where she gained valuable hands-on experience in conducting laboratory tests and examinations for 6 months. These opportunities strengthened her academic knowledge and deepened her passion for biochemistry. Currently, she serves as a graduate assistant at Godfrey Okoye University, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, College of Medicine, Enugu, where she is completing a National Youth Service Corps program as a Batch C Stream 2 Corps member. Beyond her academic and professional roles, she is a multifaceted individual with creative and entrepreneurial skills. She is a shoemaker, millionaire, hairstylist, and teacher of God's Word, finding fulfillment not just in the monetary value of these skills, but in their power to touch lives and bring joy to others. In her free time, she enjoys sharing ideas, learning from others, reading, expanding her knowledge, meeting new people, and building meaningful relationships. Her goal is to make a positive impact in her community and beyond, using her skills and knowledge to improve lives, inspire others, and contribute to a better society. She is committed to continuous learning, growth, and self-improvement, and she looks forward to exploring new opportunities and challenges in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, please make welcome Eneji Justina Imere.
Good day, everyone. I remain Eneji Justina Imere. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on set this morning. First, what is tax reform? We have been talking about tax reform. What is tax reform? In Nigerian context, tax reform is not just an administrative adjustment. It is a restructuring, a fundamental restructuring effort aimed at reducing inequality, promoting the economic development, and funding public services. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, with a population over 220 million people. However, our reliance on oil revenue has called for urgent reform. That is why we are here today, trying to talk about reform. This reform we are talking about, we are not just saying it to impress you. We are really talking about the greatness of Nigeria, the greatness of our country. First, what is tax? It's a mandatory payment made by individuals and businesses to the government, which use the collected revenue to fund public services to benefit the society. So services like infrastructure, education, public health, and so many things. That is what the tax is being used for. Tax reform, it is a call for the development of the country. And someone may ask me, is tax restricted to certain individuals? The answer is no. If you go to Romans chapter 13 verse 1, it said everyone needs to submit to the governing authority, because there is no authority except that which is established by God. And that is a call for us to submit. It is appointed unto us to submit to the governing authority. Even a Christian, even the people in the world, some of us, we classify ourselves as Christians, so we don't need to pay tax, and which is very wrong. If the country goes bad today, who is going bad? We are the one. No one. Have you ever seen where a rain is falling on a particular roof and it doesn't reach to the other person, maybe in a particular street? It is not possible. If the country is suffering, we are the ones suffering. So we call for tax reform, because with this, our country will be better. And if you go to Matthew chapter 22 verse 21, Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. And that is trying to show us, telling us to give to Caesar, that we need as citizens to give to the government what belongs to the government. And we need to give to God what belongs to God. That is our spiritual responsibility and our civic responsibility to the world. And if Jesus, our role model, can pay his own tax in Matthew chapter 17 and in verse 24 to 27, then who are we? We are to pay our taxes. because it is necessary for the growth of the development, for the growth and development of the country. And that is why we are calling our attention to tax reform today, because our over-reliance on oil revenue has caused a state which is called paradox of plenty, a state where a country rich in economic development is experiencing a slow growth of economics. Why? Because we have shifted our focus from non-oil taxes to only oil taxes, which the country is suffering today. And that is why we are calling our focus back to non-oil taxes, so that our country will grow better. And secondly, I will talk about to sustain the need, why we need tax reform. And that is one of it, is to sustain the country's economy. We need tax reform because the economy needs to be sustained. We need to be the giants that we are. We need to continue to be great because we are great. We are not just great by mere words. We are great because we are made to be great. And to stimulate economic growth and increase of development in different sectors, which is education, infrastructure, health sectors. That is why we are calling for tax reform. And it's to address social issues like sin taxes on tobacco and we have alcohol. We have to divert the taxes that are being taken from tobacco and alcohol. Though we are receiving something from there, but we need to increase the tax rate in order to reduce the people consumption. In the year 2019, the country's accountability and product participation recorded that Nigeria spent about 526.4 billion naira in treating tobacco-related diseases. If this effort is being shifted to education, this country will be better. We know the Bible said in Romans chapter 6 verse 1, shall we then continue in sin that grace may abound? Shall we continue to give our money in treating diseases that is being caused by something that is not is harmful to our own country because we are getting tax from it? No. Countries like Senegal, they increased their tax rate from 75% to 100%. And Kenya, what did they do? They stopped the importation of it. But they are doing well, and we can also do well if we increase the tax rates on such products, because it is doing us more harm than good. Instead of us diverting our money into that, we can put it into education sector. We can put it into infrastructure. Our country will be better with that than using it to treat what is not necessary. We need tax reform indeed. And what will I say? What will I say do I recommend for us, our country, Nigeria? Permit me to quote Winston Churchill. He said, reform is not a destination, it is a journey. Success lies in the courage to continue, even though growth seems slow. We need to still continue. Even though the growth looks so slow, Nigeria, we need to continue. We cannot turn back and say, okay, because the growth is not fast, then we need to go back. Like concerning the BSN now, they said in translating a particular language in the Bible, it takes sometimes more than 8 years, some 10 years, 12 years. Do they stop because it's taking a longer time? No, they continue because it is a continuous process. We need to still continue, even though it seems slow, even though the growth of Nigeria is looking slow. I will recommend us to encourage transparency and accountability. We need to encourage transparency. Remember, the Bible says we should buy the truth and sell it not. Proverbs 23 verse 23. We need to encourage it by introducing public amenities. We need to introduce digital tools and processes in order to record all these things. I am from Otugang, the local government in Cross River State. And I will permit me to say it, I will not be unjust or biased or being sentimental. I will tell you, you will see traders selling and they are collecting taxes from them, but they are sitting under the sun and under the rain. What is it being used for? Nothing. And we are wallowing in pain every day. We need to make the tax system to be accountable. Everyone accounted for. In Enugu State today, Governor Peter Mba, he introduced one-stop shop in 18th August 2025. He introduced that because every taxpayer is supposed to go to a point. After paying, you receive your receipt. And that is how it has been. Why? To promote transparency and accountability. Go to Enugu State today. You will see growth and development. Roads are being constructed. Schools are being promoted. The people are running outside the country not because they want to run, but because our education is failing us. See, today, private sectors are going higher than us because the public ones that we are supposed to rely on, they are killing us. And every day we are running. But I will conclude by saying, if we continue to run, we will then grow the country. We will then work and hold on the country. We need to stay. Joash the king collected taxes from people just because he wanted to repair the church and the temple every year, annually. And Peter and David, in 1 Samuel chapter 24, let me tell you this. He did not look at the fact that he was small. He looked at the fact that there is greatness in him. He looked at Goliath, bigger than him. In a normal sense, he would have said, I cannot do it. But he picked up the courage. Discipline is the bridge between goals and success. We need to discipline ourselves. We need to believe in ourselves that we can do it. We are a great nation. But greatness, this greatness we are talking about, it can never show unless we believe that yes, we are great. And we walk in that greatness and bring out the greatness in us. Nigeria is a great country. But that greatness can only show between you and me. Let's put our hands together and work on Nigeria because we are great. Other countries will come to us instead of us going to other countries. Let's work on our country. We can still do it. Growth may seem slow, but let's remember, we need courage. We need courage. We need to work on it, and we will get a better country because Nigeria is already better. Accept with me that we need tax reform because our country needs to grow higher than this. But rather, as we are experiencing slowness in the growth, we will still make it. I remain Eneji Justina Imere. Thank you very much.